Well, good morning. It is Tuesday, the useless day of the week, 6 minutes after the hour. It is July 30th, 2019, 59 degrees outside. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing, in Vancouver, British Columbia, on the air with me, Tommy Gallup, your morning mayor. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. So you get some sleep, son?
Oh, I did, Eagle Man. I very much appreciate it. So I think I'm more aware this morning.
Good.
Less likely to go off on a rant. So I'll try and hold myself back.
Well, listeners don't want you to do that, man. They want they want you to tune up and go for it.
Yeah, wake myself and them up.
That's right. Yeah, you got to do that, man. It's
well, now that we're medicated, we're all ready to go.
Yeah, right.
But for Tuesday, we only tell people we only medicate on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, yeah, because I don't know, Monday we're hyper, and then Tuesday, I don't know, we got to medicate down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Tuesday's, as I've told you many times, Tuesday is just a useless day. There's no reason to have a Tuesday of the week. It's like a second. Right. It's like a second Monday. It's not hump day. It's not, you're not on the downhill slide to the weekend, and it Tuesday just sucks. It's bad.
It sort of comes off as the real beginning of the week, and you just don't want to be there.
Yeah, if we had a 4-day weekend, if you had Saturday or Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off, then Tuesday wouldn't be so bad, because then the next day would be hump day, and I could make it through Tuesday, but I don't know. Well,
yeah, you think these Democrats might consider a 4-day work week instead of $15 an hour?
Well, now there's a good idea. Yeah, why don't we do that? Yeah. That's what Bernie did. Bernie cut their hours and gave them $15. So what do you want? What's the deal?
What a guy. He doesn't pay people $15 an hour, but he cuts their hours.
Boy has capitalism down pat, man.
I think so. After, making all that money selling those books,
That's right. Yeah.
This is actually a nice lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, you hear about Al Sharpton. He sold his book to his own group for, $900,000, so they would have a constant income flow when he's gone. What a guy. What a guy.
It was his wife's story, not his.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course I'd want to read about her.
Yeah, right. Well, I wouldn't want to read about him.
Yeah. Let's take a look at our weather before we get into politics. We got a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 4 o'clock. Sunny with a high of 87 today, so it should be pretty nice. Tonight, chance of showers and thunderstorms before 10. Then a slight chance of rain between 10 and midnight. Mostly cloudy, then gradually clearing. We'll have a low around 56, so chance of precip's about 40% for tonight. And looking into the rest of the week, 88 tomorrow will be our high, 58 the overnight low. It's going to be mostly sunny. Not much rain at all in the forecast, but we get a little more rain coming back in the afternoon on Thursday. 86 is the high, 55 the low. It'll be partly cloudy. Friday, we're at 88 and 55 for the overnight low, mostly sunny. But we are going to have patches of rain throughout the day on Friday. Saturday looks pretty good. Very little chance of rain there. 85 and 55, respectively. Mostly sunny on Saturday. And then Sunday will be a nice day as well. Some afternoon showers predicted. 86 and 54, the high and low for Sunday. So as we move into August already, Shane, wow.
How amazing is this? I mean, and I guess we're like halfway through the growing season now, right?
Yep.
We got 2 more months. Oh, we're coming into hurricane season. That's exciting, isn't that? Doesn't everyone want to hear about that?
I can't wait. Can't wait.
What other great weather things
hurricanes and monsoons, huh?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, well, we have thunders and storms and lightning already, so I don't have to talk about that.
Okay, well, that's coming to us then, I guess, next, huh?
It is.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
All right. Temperatures around the area right now, Livingston's 57 degrees, Manhattan's 54, Three Forks is 56 degrees. Gallant Gateway is 57, Ennis 59, Big Sky's 53 degrees right now, and at the airport in Belgrade is 55 degrees. We're right at 59 degrees right here at 10 minutes after the hour in our lavishly appointed downtown studios at KMMS AM 1450.
That's such a great line. Lavishly appointed. What
Aren't
word
they?
wizard came up? What word wizard came up with those two?
I did.
I know you did. There you go. The Eagle Man strikes again.
Striking again. So, well, our poll question of the day: will you watch the Democratic? I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Will you watch? Will you watch the Democrat debate? There's nothing democratic about the Democrat Party, and to call it the Democratic Party is just a misnomer, if there ever was one.
Yeah, I won't use it ever again. It's the demolition party. They want to demolish everything. So,
well, it's the Democrat Party right now. 75% say no. I'll wait till there are fewer of them. One person said yes. I want to know more about the candidate's position, and the other answer is maybe, just to see if there are any fireworks. So there may be some fireworks tonight. I don't know. But
with missile launches, that's what we're looking for. You know, it'll be like North Korea testing.
Yeah, that's what we want.
They're group testing all their good lines if they get picked. If they get picked.
The lineup for tonight will be Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Francis O'Rourke, Amy Klobuchar, and Marianne Williamson, John Delaney, John Hickenlooper, Tim Ryan, and of course our own Steve Bullock will be there making his debate debut. I should say.
Yes, and that soft-looking congressman from Hawaii. Did you see? She's the first to sue Google.
I know. That's Tulsi Gabbard is suing Google because she feels her posts are not coming up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Amy Klobuchar.
You think so? You think
I got to keep switching around, but this month, we got months to go, so we can make choices as we go.
Well, in September, it's going to be much harder for these folks to make it to the finals.
Yeah,
because they're going to have more donations. They're going to have more states and stuff like that. Yeah, more money.
More money.
And so I think we've got 10 each night. Tomorrow night on Thursday. Or Thursday night, rather. Wednesday night is the night I just talked about with Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Getting ahead of myself here because it's Tuesday, the lousiest day of the week. So tomorrow night, I'm sorry. So what did I do? Did I make a post that said, are you going to watch the Democratic debate tonight?
Yeah, that's okay. You know what?
Jeez.
It's just, and the amazing thing is how many they're going to be.
I know.
They started earlier than the Republicans in 2016 with more people.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to go longer with more debate. I mean, they're trying to hammer this home.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to.
Well, on Thursday, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, Kristen Gillibrand, Tulsi Gabbard, Michael Bennet, Bill de Blasio, Jay Inslee, Cory Booker, Andrew Yang, and Julian Castro will be the headliners for Thursday. So.
That favorite gal that everybody fell in love with, isn't she in there anywhere? What night is she?
Which one? Which one are you talking about?
The writer.
The writer, Marianne. She's in the first. She's in the first group. Marianne Williamson.
Yeah. Then that debate will have the best ratings.
Yeah, she's in there. Yeah. She'll be talking to love and cooperation and let's all get along and
I hope she comes out with a 60s shirt with beads,
Right,
and a flower.
Yeah, that'll be it. Yeah. I want flowers on every tank.
A big joint hanging out of her mouth.
That's it. Yeah. Let's all get high and forget about all this tariff and wars and stuff. We'll just have a high old time enjoying life. Yeah.
The government's going to pay us monthly not to work, so we might as well make good use of the money.
Yeah, she's going to be hot to trot on Wednesday night. So, all right. Well, we better take a break here, and I need to change that poll. So
it's okay.
People are already voting. They don't know it's tonight or tomorrow night or whatever. But
don't worry about it.
So I'll go change the poll. So we got to have Montana news and agriculture. Got to take care of our ranchers, farmers, and truck drivers, cab drivers, anybody that brings you food, clothing, or booze. We need those folks to stay employed. We got the Headwaters Livestock Report and a little word from Barracuda Network. So we'll be right back with more of the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane right after this. Blew that one.
That was good, though. I liked it.
It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. We're back in town anyway, but it's still, I don't know. It's Tuesday. What the heck? Oh, jeez.
Tuesdays are like the aftermath of a fireworks display, right?
I know,
It's dark sky, right?
Yeah,
Whoa,
it's all over, you know. You got the big bang, and then it's done. So I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, those who don't follow history are destined to repeat it. So this day in history, Shane, we gotta talk about this, because in 1619, the first representative assembly in America convened in Jamestown, Virginia. Do we care?
Yeah, we do, because it first of all, it was convened in a church. Jamestown Church.
Yeah.
To establish one equal and uniform government over all of Virginia. Now, a lot of African Americans are not going to the celebration. Your president, the news at the top of the hour said they were having one. They should. Mm-hmm. But the interesting thing is, the reason they're not showing is that same year that slaves first arrived, in Jamestown, 1619, and these were slaves headed for Mexico, and someone jumped the ship and brought it to Jamestown. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that everybody else that came to Jamestown first, the Europeans, mainly Germans, mm-hmm. they were all indentured servants. So I mean, to hitch a ride to Europe and come, they had to sign up as indentured servants themselves.
Yeah, and
they were forced to sign a contract to work for a particular employer for a fixed time. So the other thing that's important about this was the first recorded strike in colonial America by Polish artisans, mm-hmm. that wanted to also vote in the assembly. And of course, they were granted that on July 21st, 1619. So, it not only was it the first representative assembly, so slaves were first brought, indentured servants were first recognized and freed, and then the first strike. So a lot happened that year in Jamestown.
Okay. if you say so.
I know.
What can I tell you? Huh?
I guess it could be more, but that's just off the top of my head from my reading yesterday.
I see. Well, we're going to talk about Baltimore later, but in 1729, the city of Baltimore was founded, and currently the murder capital of America, I guess.
I know.
Even more, double Guatemala.
Well, two things real quick. The first thing is the mayor and Uncle Bernie talked about this a year ago, and nobody said anything. Then, your president says something about it, and everybody goes berserk, and they got video of the other two. I mean, the mayor walked around saying, "Oh, you can smell the dead rat," right? I mean, it's just Well, look, the important thing is for Baltimore, aside from being one of the first registered cities in your country, 1812, Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner in Baltimore. So after the bombardment of Fort McHenry, and that's sort of important. I mean, it's pretty neat. Right. And it has the most public statues and monuments per capita of any city in the country. But nobody tore any down that I can remember in the last year. Founded 1729, incorporated 1796. And it became an independent city in 1851. So, it was already a sanctuary city since 1851.
Well, all right, there we are. Well, in 1792, the French national anthem, what is that, Marseille or Marseillaise or Marseillaise or Marcellus?
Okay, it's just a French. You're so good.
Anyway, some French guy wrote it, Claude somebody, and was first sung in Paris in 1792.
Yeah, that's right.
Why do we care when the first French national anthem was sung?
Because it's something to talk about.
I guess it must be. I don't know. Well, we talked about it. I don't know that I want to give it any more time.
I think last time we brought it up, I actually read the words, and the words are pretty rough.
Are they? Yeah. What is it?
It's about dying.
What is it? Surrender every chance you get?
Don't surrender. Die. Go fight. Go fight.
I don't know. I don't think the French were much fighters. They pretty well surrendered to everybody that walked by.
But it is their fifth republic, so they can't claim any superiority over America. But
I guess that's right.
What can you say?
Well, in 1863, American automaker Henry Ford was born in Dearborn Township, Michigan. And the rest is history, of course. Started Ford Motor Company way back when. Failed, 3 or 4 times to get it going. Finally did, yeah.
Went bankrupt a couple of times. But the most important thing about what he did was the assembly line.
Yep.
And mass production, right? I mean,
mass production was the deal. That's where he made his money, and hired the best away from everybody else by paying them more. Hired the best engineers and all the other people by paying them more than the Dodge and some of the other Chrysler and some of the other guys were paying.
And in 2019 dollars, he'd be worth $200 billion today. So there you go.
Wow.
You know,
he'd be right up there, wouldn't he?
He'd be one of the most wealthiest guys in the country. Yeah. Certainly more than Gates or what's his name from Amazon.
Bezos.
Yeah.
Or Bezo, I guess it is. Yeah, not Bezos.
Bezo.
Yeah.
Is it Bezo?
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. But the difference was he was cash wealthy. You know, these guys are just paper wealthy.
Yeah. We didn't have a lot of stock at the time, so he was cash rich.
That's right. Started out as a Republican and then ended up as a Democrat. Big surprise.
Yeah, right. Well, in 1930, host Uruguay won soccer's first World Cup with a 4-2 victory over Argentina in the final at Montevideo.
And we have to talk about this because it's sort of important. So 89 years ago, founded. There's 32 teams, 211 eligible to enter the qualification. That's a lot of teams. Anyway,
that is a lot of teams. So
there's been 21 World Cups. Biggest winner is Brazil with 8.
Yeah.
And, other teams have won more than once. So it's the largest sporting event that's, to be watched. Viewership in 2006 claimed 27, what was it? There was about 26 or 20. No, 2.6 billion people. I mean, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, they watch it all over the world. Yeah, it's the biggest sporting event in the world, probably, next to this show. So.
Yeah, that's right. And we're global. Oh, I guess they are too.
Well, I guess. True. Let's see. In 1942, on this date, President Franklin Roosevelt signed a bill creating a women's auxiliary agency in the Navy known as Women Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Service, or the WAVES.
Which is really remarkable because the first leader of it was Captain Mildred H. McPhee. And so she was the first director, and the rest is history. Goodbye.
Yeah, we got to go.
The next story's best.
The next story is pretty good. Yeah, we're going to talk about the USS Indianapolis next, so stay tuned for that. And, again, it's Useless Tuesday here at KMMS. And Shane and I will return after the news. We got Montana State News. We got Fox News. We got Brooke Foster with the weather. We've got Babel and Hannity and all kinds of stuff coming up. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, 59 degrees outside. We're looking for a high in the mid-80s today. A little scattered showers here and there around the area, but nothing too drastic. No tornadoes, hail, snow, or hurricanes in the forecast. So Well,
I like hearing you tell me that the temperature there is going to be in the 80s because that was a great decade for me.
The 80s was pretty. That's when music died for me.
That was the disco decade, right?
That was oh, geez.
Right. Well, good story. Now this is a good story, so we got to spend a minute, maybe two.
Yeah, 1945, the U.S. Indianapolis, which had just delivered the key components to the Hiroshima atomic bomb to the Pacific island of Tainan, was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine. 1,196 men went in the water. Only 316 came out, and the sharks took the rest, if you watched the movie Jaws.
Correct. 300 went down with the ship, and 890 faced exposure, dehydration, saltwater poisoning, and shark attacks. And the amazing thing about all this was it was secret. So nobody in the Navy knew about this except the top. So when it went into the water, they couldn't be talking to anyone or sending out any signals. But the important thing that I want to get over is that a couple of things. the U.S. Annapolis was a new class of heavy cruisers.
Mm-hmm.
It was constructed in 1930. There were only two in this class, the Portland and the Indianapolis. And this was a big ship because after it was launched, became the flagship for the Commander Scouting Force One for 8 years, and then the flagship for Admiral Raymond Spruance in 1943-44, which, when he commanded the Fifth Fleet. And that's why they picked it to deliver the little boy, of course, as you said, the Tinian.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such an amazing story because it's one of these stories that wasn't a lot. It really, because of the nature of what happened, a lot didn't happen. So two things. You all need to know that Paul Allen paid to find it. And they found it the 19th of August, 2017, at the bottom of the Philippine Sea, 8,000 feet down. Wow. And the last thing the Republican Congress did in 2018, before they got thrown out after the election, on December 20th, 2018, they awarded a Congressional Gold Medal to the crew of the Indianapolis at the insistence of your president, because he felt it was unfair they had not been awarded anything.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. One of the bombs was Little Boy. What was the name of the other one? A trivia question. Fat Man and Little Boy were the two.
Fat Man and Little Boy. That's
were
right.
the two bombs that they dropped there.
Hiroshima got Little Boy, and Nagasaki got Fat Man.
All right.
Another little interesting thing. Those were the last two. Those are the only two bombs the U.S. had. So it was a big risk, when they used them,
Mm-hmm.
because it was, if the Japanese hadn't surrendered after Fat Man, it may have been 6 to 9 months before they had another one. So, I mean,
yeah.
That's why Truman made
Mm-hmm.
that announcement and told everyone what you'd done, because,
Well, I think one of the reasons they surrendered was that we dropped the first one, and then it was 3 days later before we did the second. And they assumed we could keep dropping those on them,
that's right.
probably. I think they didn't know we only had two.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think they said, well, they're going to wipe out the whole country here with these monster bombs they've got. So we better shape up or end this thing.
Well, there is a belief that through the Swiss, Truman, through the Secretary of State, sent them a message, said Tokyo would be next.
Yeah.
So that was like,
So
can't lose the palace.
I'm going to say you can't. Yeah, with all the history and everything there, they were big. They were big on that stuff. So yeah, that may have been the difference. On this date, 1966, England won the World Cup when Jeff Hurst scored a hat trick in a 4-2 victory over West Germany at London's Wembley Stadium. So
I'm glad you brought that up.
I know, good for him. Yeah, I care.
Now the next one's important because I wonder how many people remember these names.
1971, Apollo 15 astronauts David R. Scott and James B. Irwin landed on the moon. Now, for those of you who don't believe we went to the moon, and I know there are several out there, why would you fake 16 trips? One fake trip is all you need. We went to the moon, we came back, here's all the stuff, and yada, 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 we're done.
Well, not only that, the commander was Dave Scott, as you said, that was, stayed in the module above.
Yeah.
And it was James Irwin and Hadley Ryle that explored. Now, a couple of things are important because this is historic.
Yeah.
Was the first use of a surface extravehicle activity, EVA.
Yeah.
170 pounds, because remember, Apollo 11 only brought back 47 pounds.
Mm-hmm. They
spent 18 and a half hours on the moon surface, which is a lot more time than anyone else had done.
Yeah.
And covered a lot more area. But, for those of you that love history and enjoy this kind of stuff we talk about, try to remember who they were, right? Because that's why, 17 was the last. Because
a lot of people think only Armstrong and Aldrin were the only ones that walked on the moon. I mean, 16 other people did too.
The other thing that's key about Apollo 15, the camera was in color.
Ooh.
So it was the first color on the moon. And the only color, of course, was your flag and the gold on the moon.
I was going to say, everything else was pretty colorless there. So
everything else was gray and black.
sort of like the studio, Let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on the air. What's up?
Morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing today?
Good. We're doing great.
Fantastic.
What's up? It's a nice morning out.
Yeah.
The air smells good.
Yes.
There's no smoke. this is why we moved to Montana, is mornings like this.
For sure.
And I have a joke to tell you.
All right, go for it.
Okay.
We love jokes.
All right. Why are Japanese eyes so squinty?
I don't know. Why?
Because nuclear bombs are really bright.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. There we go.
Well,
You know, there's a similar joke in.
You can tell that 60 years later.
Okay, there's a similar joke in Vancouver. How do you blind a Chinaman?
I don't know.
Put a windshield in front of him.
Ooh.
All right. Well, hey, you guys have a good day.
Yours was better.
Shane, did you enjoy your time in Bozeman?
Oh, it was phenomenal. I mean, what an experience. You guys, it's God's country, I'm telling you. It's incredible. Unbelievable.
I'm glad you came. Next time you come, I'll come down and see you guys. I had to go to Lewistown, but
no.
So I missed you. But
that's sad.
Glad you had a good time.
Yeah, I'd go.
Lewistown. That's my daughter lives, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Don't
be
make
nice.
me come over there and choke you.
We should have just had her come to you, and you both come.
Well, yeah, that would have been.
That would have been a deal.
I guess I never thought of that. I should have talked to you about this a little further.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we have the answers. You know, we know how to do this stuff.
So, what do you think I should do this weekend, Tom?
Oh well, you know.
Go to Yellowstone Park. Tom hasn't been there yet.
Yeah, I haven't been to Yellowstone yet, so.
Should I swing by, pick you up, and take you?
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
that would be, all right. Road trip.
Road trip.
Whoa.
All right, get down here. Jake. We're going to Yellowstone this weekend.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, free offer.
There you go.
$2.68 a gallon. That's a deal.
Thanks for the call. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. 13 minutes for the top of the hour, and phones are ringing, Shane. So let's take some phone calls. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, what is this group coming to when Daniel R. Peterson had to be the conservative voice at the gala on Friday?
Really? The only thing I saw was a cardboard piece of paper with a D on it. You know, when everybody would mention your name, that's all I saw.
An R.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Number one, that you're claimed that Generation 5 of new technology doesn't use microwaves. I looked it up. They're very weak, but they are microwaves. So we would have microwaves every few blocks in our face. It's not just radio frequencies. So we'd be fried like slow cooked wieners. And the other thing is that you said that we have the best health care system in the world at the Ellen on the 21st. And so it's a big-time film, and it's at 7 o'clock. It's the usual claim that the third leading cause of death in the United States is hospital and pharmaceutical error. This is, if you're conservative, you sure wouldn't want to be running into untried, untested, and experimental things that easily.
Wow, that's a lot to cover quickly. First of all, the problem with death in hospitals, of course, today is disease. Infections. So that's the danger there. Why it's the third largest, and that's a problem in hospitals all over the world, not just the United States. Your comment about the not being the greatest in the world, the only question I'd ask you, Daniel, is what country has it better? I think the only country might come close is India, actually, only because of their opportunity they avail to people. Because a lot of people now go to India for surgery because it's a lot cheaper. And what was your other comment that you wanted an answer to?
The microwaves. I looked it up.
Microwaves. Yeah, but I didn't say it wasn't microwaves. I said the frequency isn't that. It's a higher frequency. But that's what it's frequency that's allowing streaming, as you know, Daniel. But it isn't any worse than anything else that we had. I mean, we had these supposed concerns with cell phones, 30 years, well, now I'm almost 40 years ago, that was going to cause brain cancer. And there's not even a recorded case of brain cancer from a cell phone, which is also frequency. So,
nevertheless, it's a pretty sickly country. What do we look like? A bunch of super people? We might have a few super athletes, but we have a shorter life, as I said then. Most counts have us living about 30th among the industrialized countries, and we're spending a lot of time in those hospitals. This is...
well, it's because of the way we eat and the way we take care of ourselves.
Well, and the age of your population. I mean,
That's true, too.
The baby boomers were at 15,000 a day retiring. So, people that get over there my age and Tom's age and your age, we tend to go to the hospital more than other people. So, there's a lot of us.
Yeah, I have. I did see the doctor on Friday. Yeah, I saw the doctor before I went to the gala, the great gala. So, at 75, I do have to look into those kinds of things. I congratulate Pete. Pete said he hasn't been on pharmaceuticals. I'm on 2 pharmaceuticals. It sounded like you're on a mouthful of pharmaceuticals.
Well, yeah, I got a bad heart, and I got other issues.
He's got everything wrong with him. Yeah, he's had 4 heart attacks.
Well, 2.
Okay.
But my thyroid started. My thyroid's stopped producing. So if it wasn't for Synthroid, which is a miracle drug, I wouldn't be here. So
yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
So I'm happy with pharmaceuticals.
Are you a smoker?
Occasional. Tom stresses me out sometimes.
I do. I stress him out for smoking.
Yeah.
The average age of the United States, 78.69 years. The UK is 80.96 years. And Canada is 82.3 years.
Yeah, and Japan is top dog. There are a couple small countries like the one between Andorra, I think, is the lead country.
Yeah, Japan is 83.98 years, China 76, Mexico 77. So we're living longer than China and Mexico. We'll outlive both of them, and this tariff thing won't be anything to consider about. So they'll all be dead, and we'll still be here. We'll have 2 years of prosperity. I got to go, Daniel. Thanks for the call. Okay. Right. Take care. We'll be right back.
We got to talk about Jimmy Hoffa. Okay, we got it.
All right, we'll be back, and we'll talk about Jimmy Hoffa right after this.
Yeah.
5 minutes for the top of the hour. We've had a caller waiting on the phone patiently. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the air. What's up?
Good morning, gentlemen. It's Steve.
Hey, Steve.
So I had to call in rebuttal to Daniel.
All right. Go for it.
I really appreciate the information that he provides.
Yeah.
But if you're going to say that we have a higher mortality rate in America than we do the rest of the world, I'm going to need some cited statistics. He didn't cite AMA. He didn't cite USDA, FDA. He didn't cite anything. He just threw it out there. And unfortunately, I can't believe a statistic that's just thrown out there with no reference. Second point.
Well, Tom's looking it up, so he'll probably give you some numbers here. I would, but see,
Yeah.
I have him on Skype, so I can tell what he's looking up, so I don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, but if you're going to call in and make a claim, you better have some information to back it up.
Sure.
And then the second thing is when he was referring to 5G. So, I mean, it requires significant training in physics to even comprehend the electromagnetic spectrum. Like, it's kind of a big science deal. But once we understand that it's made up of nothing but a frequency description, which is the distance between a wavelength. And when you're talking electromagnetic spectrum, it can go from the visible spectrum, which we all can see, colors and everything, all the way up to gamma rays, which are only produced by exploding stars out in space. There's such an extremely high frequency range. And all the way in between is the technology that we use. We started off with an AM band for radio, and we've got shortwave and FM and Oh, goodness, there's such a plethora. And then when it comes to cell phone technology, we started off in the 1G spectrum, 2G, 3G, 4G, and now we're in the 5G. And the G just means that's the higher level frequency of that wavelength.
Exactly,
Yep.
Is microwave wavelength, but that's a very, very special frequency that excites water molecules, energizes them, and creates warmth. And it only happens in a very limited range. So
Well, that's why when we think of microwaves, we think, oh my gosh, we're gonna have a microwave oven on the telephone pole. It's gonna cook our brains.
But it's a bit of a misnomer saying microwave when you're referring to the electromagnetic spectrum.
I was gonna say if microwaves were like Daniel thinks they are, we would have ray guns, microwave ray guns by now.
Exactly.
that we'd use in the military. I mean, we just zap the opposing guy, and that'd be done.
And we're just getting lasers figured out, which is nothing but manipulation of a visible spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
and it was
it was figured out.
Yeah, and it was a frequency wave that the U.S. used to take down that Iranian drone. So I mean, humans are pretty good at adapting, what we talk about, and they've adapted to the frequency, of light and sound pretty well.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. Yeah.
All right.
The whole point being is the 5G spectrum isn't any more dangerous to the human body than any of the other frequencies that we're bombarded with every single day. There are cases out
right.
there where
there's more danger underneath the transmission towers for electricity than there's 5G. There you go.
That's what the science shows. Anyway, guys, I just had to call and say
thanks a lot.
You have a wonderful morning.
Good job.
Hey, Steve, it was great meeting you. Thanks for coming Friday night.
Yeah. Let's take one more quick phone call. We got about 30 seconds. Caller, go for it.
Good morning.
Hey.
I just want to say good morning, and you guys have a wonderful day in this beautiful state of Montana. It's a beautiful day, and let's just all pitch in and do a good job today.
Amen. Thanks for that call.
Be happy, be safe, our friend.
Excellent call, man.
All right.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
All right. That wraps up the first hour here. We come back. We got a couple more things. We didn't get to Jimmy Hoffa, so we'll get to Jimmy Hoffa after the break at the top of the hour. So, I got up the nerve last night to ask my wife if I was the only one, and she said yes, that all the others were 9s and 10s. So I'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everyone. 6 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, 60 degrees outside. Looking for a high in the mid-80s today. Sheeman Tobin on the line from Vancouver, British Columbia. My co-host, half man, half amazing, Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor in the house. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. All views are welcome here, of course, and we're happy to have you. And I left your mic up, Shane, when we were talking. You had they got your side of the conversation, but not mine, but that's okay, I guess.
Well, it's good to know that people know we don't do anything nasty during the break.
We don't. We don't use the 8 words we're not supposed to say.
That's right.
We don't make fun of anybody or talk about people or anything like that. We got a show to do, so we don't get involved in the personalities of it. But anyway, from our text line, 478-8298, don't forget to call Carrie, Tom. I don't have a clue who Carrie is. Do you know, Shane, who Carrie is? I have no idea who I'm supposed to call. And why are you people being so racist against Daniel R? There we are.
Wow.
Well, everybody's racist. If you don't disagree,
right.
If you disagree with me, you're racist. That's all it is.
Yeah. It's getting to the point if you don't get hung with being a racist, you're not important. You're not important.
That's for sure.
Important.
All right. Well, we got to talk about Jimmy Hoffa, because on this date in 1975, Jimmy disappeared, and he was in suburban Detroit. They thought he was buried in some house somewhere. They thought he was buried at the Giants football field under the goalpost or something. I don't know. The guy's been all over the place.
That's right. Well,
so what do you think, Shane? Where is Jimmy today? Is he in Argentina?
No, he's in a barrel somewhere. But I wanted to talk about him for a couple of reasons. It's important because we talk about money. So this was a huge issue that happened. As we all know, he was head of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, the IBT. In 1964, he got the National Master Freight Agreement for the United States. And the membership of it, his union grew to 2.3 million at its peak. Now, these people were paying $50 a month, so that's like $100 million a month that they were taking in, right? So that's a lot of money. So what do you do with the money? Well, back in the day, we're talking in the 60s, you either put it in U.S. debt or you gave it to insurance companies because they were investing in real estate. The reason there's so many hotels and buildings in the world is they were financed by insurance companies because that's where they put their money to create a great investment. But when he saw what they were doing and the return he was getting, he decided I'm going to do this on my own. And that's how he got involved with organized crime and lending them the money to build Las Vegas because he wanted a better return for his union. Not bad, but he got involved with jury tampering, bribery, and fraud, got convicted in 2 separate trials. He was imprisoned in 1967 to 13 years, and then he resigned as president of the union as part of a pardon with Richard Nixon, and he got released that year, from prison, and was, on the agreement he wouldn't get involved in any union activities to 1980. But he couldn't help himself and tried to plan on getting back, and something didn't go well. Somebody didn't like him, and there you go. End of Jimmy Hoffa.
Yep. Yeah, he was quite a guy at the time. He and Bobby Kennedy went round and round. Kennedy was pretty much out to get him, and
That's right.
Kennedy wanted to get rid of J. Edgar Hoover and wasn't able to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why not. Seems like today we fire FBI guys right and left, but Hoover was so entrenched. I guess he said, if you try and fire me, I got the files, man.
Yeah, he did.
I got all the stuff on you guys.
Yeah, he had a big walk-in vault in his home, they kept it in. And, of course, the day he died, they went in supposedly to check the vault, and it was empty. So somebody's got all that stuff.
Yeah, so Hillary has it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right.
I'm sure she does.
There you go. Well, we're done with the history, so we can move on now, big guy.
We are. What about James Traficant and the ex-Bosnian Serb?
Yeah, we talked about them.
Okay, we don't need to talk about them. Henry Ford, of course, was born today. That's the only notable birth I see. So or death, either one. So, all right, that'll work. So, let's move over to the news of the day. And Montana MSU, they're constructing, of course, again. They're dozen of construction workers at the MSU to get the main fitness center ready for students' return in 3 weeks. All part of the major effort to replace 2 gyms lost last winter when the roofs collapsed from what?
That's right. We covered that extensively.
Snow collapsed the roof and the pavilion at the Bogart Park, of course.
That's
and
right.
MSU insurance companies have paid about $2.5 million for the work so far, and the final total is likely to be considerably more than what they insured it for. So they may have to dip into their endowment fund. Yeah.
Well, it's only $600 million, I think. That's the last
something
time we
like
looked
that.
at it.
Yeah. Workers have demolished the old gyms, reinforced exposed interior walls of the Marga Houses Fitness Center, and laid foundations for 2 new bubble structures. 2 inflatable domes will cover the outdoor tennis courts and serve as temporary gyms for a few years until a permanent addition can be constructed on the fitness center's east side. So there you are. Sounds wonderful for them, huh?
Yeah, well, it is. And if you go to big cities, these bubbles are amazing because people that play tennis, right? That's where that whole thing came up, was for tennis.
Yeah.
And they're quite amazing pieces of equipment. They really are.
Yeah, they got some pictures of them in here. So we'll. They're going to be next to Brick Breeden, if you know where the Brick Breeden Fieldhouse is. They're right next door to the east, east of the.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hi, Tom. It's Joel.
Hey, Joel.
Got a story about Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, yeah?
All
right.
I grew up I spent my whole working life in Michigan, and had a cousin that told me a story that I don't know if he had exact proof of it. I guess he didn't. But I was also in the meat business for many years, and there was a packing house up near Flint, which was kind of right up the main road from Detroit. And the cousin said they brought Jimmy up that road called Dart Highway, and this packing house had a big rendering plant where they ground up bones and such from animals and then cooked them. And he swears that he was told that that's what happened to Jimmy.
Oh, my gosh. Don't tell us somebody ate Jimmy. Oh, my gosh. That's a terrible. How could you call at 6:15 in the morning and tell me that he could have been bacon?
No, they used that
for animal feed, I think. Yeah.
They used that byproduct for dog food and that type of thing.
Yeah.
But
so now you're telling us that Jimmy Hoffa is responsible for mad cow disease. Oh my God, this is really not good.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, it sure would have been a way. It would only took him an hour or so to get up there from Detroit or wherever it was that he disappeared.
And that would be an easy disposal too. It wouldn't take long.
It wouldn't be a trace left of him that way.
Yep.
Well, in all these circumstances that occur, like other assassinations, this is what it was. It's the dead end issue. The guy that pulls the trigger, he's gone. The guy that killed him, he's gone. Yeah. It wasn't just Jimmy Hoffa that disappeared that day. It was probably several other guys as well.
That could be, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be the guy that takes out the guy. You want to be the guy that takes out the guy that takes out the guy.
Exactly.
That's what you want to be.
And still running.
Yeah. So,
thank you. That's a great story.
Yeah, that's one we hadn't heard before. So that's as plausible as anything I've heard. So
yeah, and you're pretty brave to come on and talk about it because,
right.
gosh, the FBI may want to talk to you now.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to know where this place is. They're going to DNA that place.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, thanks for the call, Joe. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
All right.
Take care. All right. We've got, as you know, the construction certainly is going to start on the end zone too, and they're going to do some stuff over there as well. They're going to have a athletic facility there so the athletes don't have to exercise in brick breeding and then walk, half a mile over to the stadium.
Yeah.
Well, it's not half a mile. It's probably about a quarter mile, I would think. But anyway. Well, we talked a lot about Yellowstone Club and their confiscated booze, Shane. So
I know.
They're back in the news again. They take exception to that. They're requesting a hearing. And the Montana Department of Justice, which investigates liquor violation, found booze a day after the state fined 4 Yellowstone Club businesses $370,000 for liquor violations. And so the attorney for the Yellowstone Club sent a letter to the Montana Department of Revenue asking for the hearing. The Mountain Club runs the Yellowstone Club golf course and clubhouse and is connected to the Rainbow Lodge and Timberline Lodge, Warren Miller Lodge. And in June, the Revenue Department seized 429 bottles of liquor, 70 bottles of wine, and 319 bottles or cans of beer in a building on Wings Way. And according to the Revenue Department, notice of the seizure and intent to forfeit. That address is connected to the Yellowstone Jet Center. And state law does not allow bars and restaurants to store alcohol off-site. So,
and what's so amazing is it's the 21st century and we're talking about this like it was prohibition, right?
I know, yeah. They're in there smashing the barrels with, sledgehammers and axes. So,
how funny. That's
I don't
funny.
know. We got to take a quick break here. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Hang on. 20 minutes after the hour, it's Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, 60 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And, well, in other news, we've got biologists are going to poison a bunch of fish in the Spanish Peaks. And they've, they're going to get rid of non-native fish so they can eventually be restocked with we know the word, right? The Westslope Cutthroat Trout, which was going to be the high school mascot until he went with the Raptors. So, but yeah, we're going to get our Westslope Cutthroat Trout back, and the effort is part of a native trout restoration project in the North Fork Spanish Creek drainage, which feeds the Gallatin River in all 17 miles of stream, would be included in the project. So we'll get rid of all the non-native fish that everybody brought in, I guess, from, I don't know, New York and California and whatever. Get rid of those, get rid of those snowflake fish and get real fish in there that people can catch. And I don't know if any of the fish will have any remnants of Jimmy Hoffa or not, but I guess we'll.
Well, as a fisherman,
yes,
and everyone in the valley will, I'm sure, confirm this.
Yeah.
The uniqueness of the trout, especially the brown trout, is for fly fishing because it's such a remarkable experience, and that's why they have the events that they have there for returning vets and stuff. Fly fishing is an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And, it's another aspect of fishing. But it's sad because a lot of people brought in the other ones for, the heavier fishing that people do, with the coffee grinder, as we call it. Fly fishermen call it. You cast with a coffee grinder, right?
Yeah. Out it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I've done the regular fishing, I guess, in the Illinois River and the Mississippi River with casting.
Sure.
You stand on the shore or in a boat, and throw it out there, and you reel it in. You throw it out, and you reel it in, and whatever. So, but I don't know. Fly fishing seems like there's more to it. You're flipping the thing back and forth, and then you throw it out there, and what do? Just kind of let it lay there, or kind of jerk it a little bit, or whatever?
Well, there's two types of fly fishing, dry and wet. So
okay. So,
mostly dry is on the surface, like in lakes and still water, and then wet fly is where you let it sink with leaded line.
You got some little current going on there.
That's right.
So,
but the play on the pole is so much different because you can really feel it because you have a longer pole and it's a lighter pole, and you can feel the fish, and it's just a different experience. But it's very nice. It's a wonderful thing.
Okay, all right. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
This is Clint.
Hey, Clint, how are you?
Well,
there he is, my man. I'm so happy to have met you. It was such a great experience. Thanks for being there, buddy.
Hey, Shane. Same to you.
Yes, sir. Hey, really,
I enjoyed meeting you too. Also,
you're a wonder, and I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity, like everyone else, to meet everybody because it's now we're a family. Now it's personal. Okay. Now when you call in, it's personal. Okay.
That's right.
But I promise I won't call you at home and harass you. I'll just talk to you on the radio, okay?
Well, that's all right. I don't care if you do call me at home. Anyway, I want to say something about Spanish Creek and Cherry Creek.
Yeah.
I happen to own a little place right on Cherry Creek there in Madison County, okay? My son lives there. He's the postmaster's nurse.
Yeah. All right.
Now, Turner put up $500,000 to start with to poison the fish from Cherry Lake down to the Cherry Creek Falls, which it took them 4 or 5 years. Then they took the rotenone and anamycin got away from them that they poisoned them with, and went down Cherry Creek and killed all the fish that was in the creek. Went into the Madison River there. Now, they're going to do the same thing at Spanish Creek. And now, they like the Yellowstone Cutthroat Trout because they're native and they're easy to catch. They're not hard to catch. Where the rainbow and the browns are hard to catch. The browns spawn in the fall, and they go up Spanish Creek as well as Cherry Creek. I don't understand why that they can't leave the creeks alone. Now, on Cherry Creek, I used to take my kids, and we used to go up to the Cherry Creek Falls, and we could take and catch them little brook trout. They were about 6-8 inches long. We could eat them right there, and it was really nice. It was nice, and you had a little picnic, and it was wonderful. Well, you can't do that anymore because Turner owns the ranch, which is fine. I don't care. But when it comes to fish, neither Turner nor the Fish and Game own those fish. Those fish belong to the world. Those fish are for everyone. Now, if the rotenone and anamycin gets away in Spanish Creek, guess what's going to happen to the Gallatin River?
Yep.
Okay? But the environmental people and the Fish and Game got to have something to do. We hire these guys to take care of our fisheries. So what do? They get a little money from somebody like Turner or whoever. Then they want to experiment and try to put in the Yellowstone Cutthroat Trout or the Westslope Cutthroat Trout or some other damn thing. Now, I got a friend of mine that loves to fish. His first name is Pete, and he is one hell of a fly fisherman, let me tell you. Probably one of the best I've ever seen. And if he hears about this, I don't know what Pete's going to say. I know if I was a fly fisherman, I would hate to even think about fishing the Gallatin River, with the anamycin and the rotenone being put into it or getting to it. They'll dam it in the Spanish Creek, and then they'll try to kill them prior to the Spanish Creek reaching the Gallatin, which is just about right where you enter the Gallatin Canyon.
Well, this whole thing is estimated to take about 2 years, too.
Well, it takes about 5, actually.
Yeah. Well, the time you restock it and, they multiply and all of that, yeah, it's going to take some time, but the removal is going to take at least 2 years.
Well, I'll give you for instance. Now, at Cherry Creek, the Fish and Game Department put in 10,000 grayling. They thought that was a good experiment, boy. They were going to really do something. Guess what? The big browns come up out of the Madison River and ate every damn one of them.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
And this here, me and some other organizations fought like hell to try to stop them from Cherry Creek, from poisoning it, because we liked the fish that was there, and everything. But when you don't own the land, that's something different. You might have a water right in the creek, which everybody did. My aunts and uncles owned most of that damn country. But anyway, what happened, Turner nor nobody owns them fish. Those fish belong to the world. You follow me?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think they just want to preserve some of the native fish of Montana. That's their argument if you want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
They've done that already.
Well, yeah. No. Got to go, Clem. Sorry.
Okay. Well,
all
I
right,
just
man.
wanted to tell you that. And
yeah,
that's how
appreciate
I
it.
feel. I don't like it.
All right. Thanks for the call.
You have a great day, my friend.
Good. You too, Shane. Have a nice one.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks for the call.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. We got to pay a couple bills here. And, a couple people have to pay us, I guess, to be heard.
I wish it bubbled down, though, Tom.
Okay. Let's see, Shane, we got a caller on the line, so if you can handle that, I will do the board here, and we'll be right back with more right after the news and other helpful information. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. We've got a caller waiting on the line with Shane, so let's go to the phones. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
This is Montana Tom talking here.
How you doing?
Pretty good, huh? How are you doing?
Living my dream, man. You know me.
Yep, I know you.
Tom is easy, Tom. So,
that's right.
Yeah, he's easy to get along with. I want to talk about, Clint was talking about those fish belong to the world, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Those fish don't belong to Turner, neither does that piece of creek that goes through his land, because all the water in Montana, by law, the 1872 Geological Survey says that Montanans, the people, own the water. They own the water. So what's in the water, we own that too. And it's fish, and you got guys like Turner poisoning the thing. Somebody had to take him out and work him over a little bit.
Yeah, now tell them about how you, as a went to one of the public meetings to inform your legislators. So tell them about that story. It's a good story.
Well, I took. My dad's a forest engineer, and him and I said, he has the forests, all the forests, or had all the forests. He's retired. He's gone now, but him and I sat down and wrote out a thing, and I went and presented it to the legislature, and I told them they were flat against the law, and they couldn't do what they were doing, taking the water away and giving it to ranchers only. That's what they were trying to do. And I was the 10th guy in line out of a whole bunch of people. And when I spoke, the guy that was in charge of the thing told my dad that my presentation shut them down completely. It made the whole hearing worthless after that.
Yeah, I was saying, Tom, we were talking during the commercial. I was saying that the importance of this is that people don't go to these public hearings to complain. They go to inform your legislatures about what's right or wrong with what they're doing, and it's an important thing. So it's great having someone on the line that made a difference, my man. You made a difference.
Well, thank you.
There you go.
And you just get elected to do it. That's the best part.
Yeah, that's yeah. What would they call that? The testifier's license?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you are.
That's
good.
Citizen. There you go. You're a good citizen.
Hey, thanks for the call, Tom. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you. We'll see you.
All right. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you're on the air. Thanks for waiting. What's going on?
Hey, Tom, Shane, how are you doing this morning?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing good. Hey, Shane, I just want to let you know, you're only 2 up on me on the heart attacks. But I've also had 2 strokes. I've also had 2 strokes.
Wow.
No, I haven't been there yet, but I did. I take a blood thinner, so I hopefully won't. I take rat poisoning.
Warfarin.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's right.
Hey, I didn't get to catch your remarks about Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of missed that.
Oh, did you? Well,
yeah.
we were just, Shane went through. You want to go through that again, Shane? Well, if you got it handy? Or?
Well, of course I story, yes. The point I just wanted to make was the impact that had in the 60s on the development of commercial property, buildings and so forth, hotels particularly, which is why there's so many hotels around the world, because that's what insurance companies invest in to generate a return with the money that they hold. But, we were talking about Hoffa, and now I got involved with the boys in Las Vegas and so forth. So, yeah, it's an important thing in the history of your country financially about the impact of the union, because there are 2.3 million members paying $50 a month. So it's like $100 million a month. Like, wow, that's a lot of cash. Better than almost like Berkshire back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is, you know how everybody's been trying to find his remains and all that. They will never find his remains.
Well, Joel called and said he was ground up at a what a meat packing plant that they put him in the chipper that makes dog food. So they threw him in there. So
my theory is that they took him out to a pig farm and let the pigs eat him.
Well, that could be too.
We had that issue in Vancouver in a terrible trial here with Yeah,
because that's something I never heard anybody talk about, is about that, particular theory about the pigs.
Yeah. Well, they may have taken him up to the meatpacking plant and just sit with the chipper. They said, let's let the hogs do this. So that may be the way he went. I don't know. There's been so many different stories. He was buried under a house, and he was in the New York Giants end zone, and he was in all kinds of places. I guess this guy's a frequent flyer.
But to get to what Tom and Clint were saying, they're right. The fish, belongs to the people of Montana or any other person that comes into fish our lakes and rivers. Fish and Game, and of course Ted Turner needs to, back off on this poisoning bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I don't know that
our enjoyment.
Yeah, I don't know that I would consider Ted Turner a Montanan anyway. Even if he's got land here. I mean, I got a house here, but I consider myself a Montanan. Not, I don't spend summers here and then go, someplace else in the winter.
That's right. Well, you got to remember, he is the largest private landowner in your country. So
good for him.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
That's all I had to say.
All right. Hey, thanks.
Right. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a great day.
All right.
All right. Thank you. You too now.
All right. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 90 seconds. So stay tuned. $15 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Tuesday, July 30th, 2019. And in other news, Shane, we got more roundabouts. We've got the same roundabouts. We've talked about them before, but we've got 3 of them going on that you may be aware of. One of them is, of course, at Durston and Ferguson. That one has been a 4-way stop and is a backup city about half the time, with the school being there and everything. And then they've also got the one at Baxter at Love Lane. Not sure why we need a roundabout out there, but anyway, we put one in. So, and then they've got another one at 15th and Beale, or Bell, whichever way you pronounce it. Yeah. So.
And now I know where Jack Rabbit Lane is, by the way. So
yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one at 15th and Bell is going to be that's going to be the new entrance to the high school, and that'll be around it's back behind McDonald's between Durston and Main Street, and you'll go in the back way to the high school now. That's going to be the main entrance where you drop off kids and pick up stuff and whatever. If you have to go to the high school, you go back there. So that'll be the new entrance rather than out in front. So that's
it's just the roundabout save a huge amount of money, and they actually once people get to use them, traffic can flow a lot quicker with the roundabout. They really can.
Well, it can, yeah. Let's see. They did a Montana study in Helena about a Helena roundabout. Through the 6 years before the roundabout, the road had 27 crashes and 2 deaths. In the 6 years since the project wrapped up, there have been 9 crashes, each logged as fender benders, so not seriously, I guess. So
yeah, exactly.
Went down quite a bit. So let's go back to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling here on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Jerry. How are you?
Good.
Shane, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me why and give any details of Bernie Sanders' visit to your country and whereabouts was he?
Oh, that's a good question. Didn't know he's been to Canada. Really? He's been here?
He went to Canada to compare insulin prices in Canada.
Oh, right. That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, you know that now. I know you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, it's just that one of the interesting aspects about our health system is the restrictive pricing on pharmaceuticals. So a person using insulin would come to Canada and buy a vial here for 1/10 of what they would pay for in the U.S.
Correct.
And so it's one of those cases. He came here to visit Canada about it, as Tom said, and it's just one of those things that as much as everybody gives us a hard time with July 28th this year, the night that he came here, and it's just one of those things that it's interesting because Americans do pay more for pharmaceuticals.
Is that because of your exorbitant taxes that you pay less?
No.
Didn't mean to cite you there.
No, I'm sorry. I got caught up because of medical stuff. I get nervous when we talk about medical stuff. Anyway, no, what it is that the Canadian government, franchised rates to purchase by the government to get better pricing. That's what it is.
Well, I was just curious if he did that. It sounds to me as if he agrees with the president that we do pay more for prescription drug prices, and perhaps he's trying to get on the bandwagon to lower these prices and get them competitive to other parts of the world. Either that or he's examining your healthcare system to try to utilize that in his campaign. I'm not.
One theory is that because of the high R&D, research and development of these drugs, America being a more affluent country, we pay for the research and development where the other countries don't. So whether or not that's true or not, I have no idea. That's just a theory that I've heard, is that they recoup their costs quickly in America, and then, they got to recoup the cost before the generic comes out.
Well, you would think, though, Tom, that once a product or a drug or insulin, for example, it's been around for a long time.
Oh yeah.
You don't need any more research and development, so the price of something like that should come down.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would think so on a drug like that. The Lipitor is a common drug out there. It has a generic. There's all kinds of generic drugs out there for all kinds of things. But
can Shane tell us exactly what province he visited? Was it Ontario or?
Yes, he went to Ontario. You're right. Very good call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, fellas.
Windsor, Ontario.
Oh, Windsor. Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thanks, gentlemen.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. Yeah. That's been something I think you can go all the way back to Brian Schweitzer. Didn't he take busloads of people to Canada, I think, to buy drugs or whatever?
Yes, he did.
In some cases you can do it online with prescriptions and things like that. But I'm not sure about the legalities of that in Canada or not. The biggest thing is that they don't want you buying 75 vials of insulin to go back and sell it in the U.S. for less.
Well, yeah. But then again, you get that not only the benefit of the price is less, but then you get the 30% discount, right?
Well, with your currency exchange, your dollar will buy 30% more insulin in Canada than it will here. So
that's right.
That's a pretty good deal. But that is an interesting question that the caller raised. With something like insulin, it's been around forever. It's been around for a very long time, obviously. And there's other, aspirin was a brand name at one time, but it became so common that they wouldn't let the company call it aspirin anymore because everybody called it aspirin.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
And insulin was developed and discovered in Canada, but the difference is these types of insulin are $35 to $40 a vial here, and they're $350 to $400 in the U.S. It's
right. Yeah,
1/10 the price. That's a big difference.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of in a lot of cases, because we have such a litigious society that sues every time you turn around, that's part of the cost as well. If we capped medical suits or something, I think that would go a long way to reducing some prices. But
well, you're going to see this the 1st of January in your country.
Mm-hmm.
As of the 1st of January 2020, the middle guy in all of these dealings, particularly with pharmacies, is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so your pricing could drop like 50% on a lot, like this type of insulin could drop to $125. Wow, but that's still way more than $35 Canadian.
That's true. All right, we got to take another break, but it's a short one. We'll be back in 57 seconds, so stay tuned. 5 minutes before the top of the hour. It is Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, 67 degrees outside. We're getting ready for 85 or so degrees today, so pretty excited about that. Talking about roundabouts from our text line. I just went through the roundabout construction this morning on Baxter and Love Lane. Be prepared for wait times. Traffic is quite heavy at the intersection during rush hours with lines forming behind the stop signs for blocks. I think the roundabout will improve the morning and afternoon commutes. Also, with commercial construction in progress near the airport, I think traffic that direction will increase. Maybe someone is actually planning ahead. Well, that may be. I don't know.
Okay, well, I want to give everybody in the valley a tip about a roundabout.
Yeah.
If you want to make a roundabout work, think about a four-way stop, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when you go into a roundabout, let one car in front of you go. Don't be in a hurry. Don't cut anyone off.
Yeah.
So if you just go by the rule of one pass, let one car pass in front of you, it will flow easier. If you start trying to cut people off from participating in the roundabout, then you create a problem.
Yeah. That's again about roundabouts. That's because people do everything they can to avoid the roundabout. We were talking about the traffic fatalities and everything went down, so that's where we are there. How much do you want if they cut off the wrong arm or leg regarding drug prices and medication and everything like that? Well, that's true. I think even at that, I think some things should be capped at a certain a certain amount for obviously if where the rub comes in is if you're damaged and you can't work. So how many years would you work and how much would you make so that your income would, not be affected by this mistake, that you could continue to live your life? And I think that's where the real issue comes in as to how much damages did you receive by a mistake in the medical, facility that you were in.
That's right. Yeah. And actuaries in the insurance industry have been obviously working on this for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
But, their job is to make a determination of what a payout should be, with regards to an insurance claim and so forth. And so that's how they determine what to charge you for that insurance every month.
Yeah.
Because it's like coupons, right? Coupons was a huge industry the last 70 years because only 3% of the people that gave coupons used them.
Right.
Right? That's why coupons,
well,
which is a remarkable thing.
Yeah. Well, it's been proven that coupons work even if people don't use the coupon.
That's right.
I know. That's a pretty amazing thing. I think one of the major universities did a study on that sometime, and just knowing that there's a coupon out there makes you go get the product, even if you don't have the coupon. So it's kind of nice.
It was a great incentive for retailers to give you the coupon at the counter if you didn't have it, because they get the rebate too.
True.
So they make more money with the coupons. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, that's true too. Yeah. The manufacturer would give you a kickback on the coupon that you could afford to give 20% off or 10% off or things like that. And of course you can look up coupons online all day long and take them into whatever stores honor them. So pretty good.
So just so everybody knows, I was a venture capitalist at one time. And if you ever went to a place, I don't think they do it anymore, but back in the 80s and 90s, when you'd go into a Walmart or something and you'd get a receipt, the coupon was on the back of the receipt.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, well, I financed the company out of California that produced those that paper for people to use for coupons.
Well, speaking of receipts, Walmart saved $20 million by shortening their receipts.
Yes.
Pretty amazing.
And they're still too long.
Well, they are too long, but well, you know what happened to us when we went into Staples. I mean, we got a roll of toilet paper as a receipt. I mean, the thing just kept popping out there with stuff all over it. So.
Yeah, you wonder when they look at you like, is that a look like I own an outhouse and I need this?
Yeah, right. I need this. We'll be right back with more. We still got a full hour yet to go, so hang in there. No Jeff Krause today, so we're going to have open lines. We'll talk about the 5 things you need to know when we come back, so stay tuned. 6 minutes after the hour is Tuesday, July 30th, 2019. One more day of July left, Shane. Man, this year is flying by.
That's right. Every year does. The older you get, right?
It sure seems to. I don't know. Getting older by the minute. 69 degrees outside. Looking for a high of 85 today. From our app chat line, and don't forget you can get the app chat at AM 1450 KMMS on your smartphone. From our app chat line, Jimmy Hoffa is witness protection plan under U.S. Marshals. So
there you go. That's impressive.
That would be possible, I guess. I could grab him and say, hey, there's a hit out on you from the Vegas mob. And we're gonna put you in witness protection, and you can testify against all the bad people in Vegas for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he never did show up in court, so usually witness protection is for people who are going to eventually be witnesses in some kind of trial or something. I mean, other than your case, you're just a witness protection because nobody wants to know where you are.
Yeah, I have to be protected from the Eagle Man.
That's right. Yes, you do. All right. Well, let's see. In other news, the Hoot is coming back to Livingston. August 8th, the Hoot is back. It is a get-together. It's a musical deal down on Main Street. And they didn't do it last year, but they're going to bring it back. They had it 5 years in a row, I think, over there, something like that. And so anyway, the Hoot is coming back. They're going to have it the same night as Music on Main, because Music on Main is more a drunken, get-together down on Main Street with all the college students. Music on Main. Well, college students aren't there right now, so I guess it's the high school students. But
that's right.
Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, this is more of a family get-together. The last time they did it in 2017, I guess, they had like 12,000 people down there, and that's too many people. So they're only advertising it locally rather than on the net or wherever, I guess. So, but anyway, it's going to be August 8th, and greater emphasis on local enjoyment, local people going rather than people coming from all parts of Montana, I guess, to clog the streets that are under construction anyway.
I give you full permission to give them the roll of raffle tickets you have left.
Okay, I got 2,000 raffle tickets, so I got less than 2,000. And
1,900.
Yeah. Well, we should have counted. We should have counted
about this from a year. Okay, you're gonna.
We should have counted those raffle tickets. We'd know how many people were there. I think we estimated there's around 70 at our Friday get-together at the Grand Tree, so something like that.
I think we gave out 88 raffle tickets.
Did we? Something like that? I don't know. We should have checked the numbers when we started and ended, I guess. That would tell us.
Started at 0.
Well, yeah, but we took a couple. Well, I don't know that it started at 0. It didn't start at 0. They were 900 and something, 9,000 something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They had a bunch of numbers. Anyway, doesn't matter. But at least 10% of the people went home with loot.
That's right.
$20 or more. Yeah. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
So, so anyway, if you're planning, Thursday, August 8th, get over to Livingston, check out the Hoot. And they're just going to do it locally here. So probably a few people here it's going to be the same night as Music on Main, so you can take your pick. If you got kids and want a more family atmosphere, then go over to Livingston. If you want to drink and socialize with adults, then Music on Main is your place to be. So I
So
guess.
I think everyone wants to know, is that Hoot or Hoote?
What?
Hoot. How do you spell Hoot?
Hott.
Okay.
What'd you think it was?
I just said, is that Hoot or Hoote? That's all.
Oh.
Isn't Hoot Hoot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hootie. And the blowfish would be.
Hootie and the blowfish. That's excellent.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anyway.
Comical relief, folks. That's
all we do here. Right. Yeah. Fire that Yellowstone National Park said was human-caused ignited grass and sage between the north entrance station and the Gardner River about 6 p.m. on Friday. The fire was contained at about 4 acres, including a half-acre spot fire on the other side of the Gardner River. So luckily they put that out before it turned into anything nasty. So.
Well, and if you burn sage, it sort of lightens that burnt smell, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Personnel from Yellowstone Park, the town of Gardner, and Paradise Valley responded to the fire, and the north entrance road was closed for about 90 minutes until the fire was contained. Outbound traffic was still able to exit the park via the old Gardner Road, so quick response by fire crews prevented threats to visitors and buildings. So good for them. Excellent job by the fire folks there. And let's see, in state news, we got a couple of mothers unhappy about a raid at a treatment program. The reaction to the state's shutdown of a private adolescence treatment program in northwestern Montana over allegations of physical and psychological abuse ranged from relief to anger to defiance in some cases. Some former participants and staff said they were glad the state removed more than 24 children from the Ranch for Kids on July 23rd and suspended its license. So this was a child abuse situation here. So I don't know.
That's not good, is it?
Yeah. The state health department and law enforcement coordinated a removal of the children after a judge signed petitions giving the state temporary custody of the 27 children ranging in age from 11 to 17. So wow,
that's very unfortunate.
Quite a little deal over there, yeah. So they're kind of tough. So let's see what else we got. Looking through some of the state news here that. Firefighters are working to protect homes in the path of a suspected human-caused fire north of Helena. The fire, which started at midday Friday, turned nearly 7 square miles of timber by Sunday night, and residents of 400 homes were evacuated. No injuries have been reported, and no homes have been lost yet. Fire information officer says more than 300 firefighters are battling the blaze, and more were coming in Monday as management was handed over to a more experienced team. So we'll check how that goes. But, we're getting into fire season, not quite yet, but at least August, September usually is when everything dries out, and away we go. So.
That's right. Especially, you get a lot of lightning down there, too. Because
we do. Yeah, this time of year we got the thunderstorms in the afternoon, and we do get some lightning and things like that. So, multi-lane, we were talking about roundabouts earlier from our text line, 478-8298. Multi-lane roundabouts are great, but single-lane roundabouts have problems. If there's heavy traffic from one direction, everybody else gets stuck, such at Baxter and Ferguson when school gets out in the afternoon. And I would agree with that you've got one lane of cars going in, unless, as you point out, they should wait and let other people in. But in that case,
the one-car rule, and it'll flow. If you just follow the one-car rule, and it'll flow.
Yeah,
it'll work. Yeah. You gotta be patient in the roundabout. You can't be in a hurry.
Well, I would bet everything you own that they won't do that.
Well, I have to tell you that people that travel to Canada will tell you how polite Canadians are actually on the road because people, we're so used to the lack of roads here, that we have to converge. People have to converge here, and they're polite about it. It's one after another. People don't cut 2 or 3 cars off here. They one after another.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd get mixed signals, I think, from drivers here. I think, being retired, I don't drive that much. And of course, coming in here at 4:30 in the morning, there's very, very little traffic, of course. So, it's kind of easy to get here.
That's right. Everybody else is going to work, sees you drive by, and they go, "What the heck is he doing out here?
What's he doing out here? Yeah, where are you going this time of morning?"
Exactly.
And the great thing is, there's plenty of parking downtown at 4:30. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's pretty nice. So I'm ready for it.
You have your own parking spot.
I do. Yeah. We've got a Tom space right out in front of the station just for me. That the Eagle Man parks here. So there you go. All right, we'll be right back with more right after these important words. So stay tuned. 18 minutes after the hour, it's Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, 71 degrees outside, looking for a high of 85. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor, and this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And if you want to contact us, it's easy. 522-TALK is the number, or use our app chat on your smartphone at AM 1450 KMMS, or use our text line 478-8298, or email us, Tom at KMMSAM.com.
Email works too, right?
You can get us anywhere, anytime, any place. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up? What's up? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. It helps if I answer the phone.
Exactly. I was wondering if you and Shane have got your Faraday cages out to protect your computer equipment.
Oh.
They've detected a large hole in the sun's atmosphere.
Uh-oh.
It's going to align with us, and you may be able to see the aurora borealis clear down into the southern states.
Wow. That'll be cool.
That'll be cool, yeah. Because you won't be able to bring up any pictures on your computer because it'll be toast.
Oh, well, okay. Well, there you are. Well,
they say so. That's right. It's like electromagnetic wave, right? And so it's just he's talking about a sunspot.
The EMP.
Yep. EMP. Yeah, EMP.
Okay.
Yep. So they say it's supposed to happen tomorrow or the 1st.
Oh.
Okay.
So it's amazing.
So we'll be off the air, basically, is what you're telling me.
And you're telling me to unplug my computer and bury it, right?
Well, nobody will have a phone to call in.
Oh, well, jeez.
I'm telling you, man.
You're just a bundle of joy here on Tuesday, the most useless day of the week.
Right. Well, that's why I do it on a Tuesday, because it is a useless day.
It's a worthless day. It's like second Monday.
I find it interesting that they can predict all of this, and they have a hard time with the weather day to day.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Well, you and I have talked about the moderate minimum, and nobody else wants to hear it.
Well, yeah, I get it. The sun is the driver of the weather on this planet. Wow.
People don't want to hear it, and it's real science, like you and I have tried to tell people, for 5, 6, 7 years?
7 years?
Yeah, you and I have been talking about the modern minimum. You're the one who brought it up, 7 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was a while ago, I guess. I don't know if it was 7, but...
Time flies when you're having fun, huh?
Time does fly when you're having fun. So I'm going down. I'm going to buy me some wire and some screen, and I'm going to wrap my house in it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. There's no sense in preserving your equipment because there's going to be no feed.
That's why Tom gave me a ball of string to come back when I drove back. So now I can hook up my phone with string with him. So we're okay.
Yeah.
Work on it.
Yeah.
Tent string and a couple bud cans.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're using.
Right, yeah.
Can't you tell?
You'll be in.
Yeah, we'll be the only ones who'll be able to communicate with each other. So.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that they nail this thing down to 2 days, which I guess it's all the Earth's alignment with the sun. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's why you're going to see the aurora, so far south in the United States. But you'd think if that's the way they're doing it, that they would be able to nail it down to 1 day. But they're not saying 1 day. They're saying tomorrow or the 1st of August.
Well, it's that that Geneva timeline thing. So some days it'll be tomorrow, and some days it'll be today.
I got you. They didn't say that. I wish they would have pointed that out.
Yeah. Well, sun does reach both sides of the planet. In case you didn't know that.
That's right. And the other thing about it is that it only will occur if the sun releases a sunspot into that hole while it's passing between us and the sun.
Right, and right now the sun's pretty quiet.
That's right. That would because of the moderate minimum. We talked about this last year. It's down. It's dropped significantly, and sun is not producing as many sunspots because it's gravitational. It shifted its gravitational angle. So there you go.
So that's why. That's why the whole country is 90 degrees right now.
I have no idea.
Yeah, right.
I think it's not the whole country is not. 90 degrees because it's summer.
Well, that could be true.
I mean, that's the only reason I could come up with it. Summertime,
the sun heats the atmosphere, but sunspots heat the planet because of the ionosphere. So
boy, now we're getting technical.
Thank God for that, huh?
I guess.
I'm happy that that's the way it works. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Anyway, that's all I got for you. Get your Faraday cages out.
Yeah. Well, thanks for another cheerful call about how wonderful.
By the way, I only have an aluminum foil cap. I have no copper. Can't afford copper.
There you are.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to. The caps ain't going to work anymore. You're going to have to get full suits.
Wow.
A total aluminum suit.
Yeah. What about
that? I hear Marcus Lehman or Lehman Marcus is going to start selling them, I guess.
All right. What about those copper gloves and things that everybody sells on TV? They're supposed to
those
your
things,
back and everything.
They could overheat and cook you.
Whoa.
It'd be like sitting in a microwave.
Boy, listen, I got no safety here. What's the deal?
This is great. I love it. Really.
Thanks, Pete. I think.
Have a good one, guys.
Good seeing you Friday night. Thanks for coming.
Ouch.
Ouch. Yeah, I know.
I don't know about this.
I wonder.
You're not safe anywhere you go. I got the microwaves on the poles. I got the sunspots bearing down on me. I've got, I don't know.
I got to be in the dental chair in the next 2 days, so that when this happens, I'll have one of those dental, lead coverings. For
okay.
When they do your teeth.
So you're gonna be slobbering all over the show on Thursday.
Yeah, right. I didn't protect myself.
Couldn't you pick a day for your dental when we got guests?
Yeah, well, I just want that lead protection for the sunspot problem.
Yeah. Hey, good news. Once again, we passed another milestone on our rebroadcast. We passed the 1,200 mark, so we're at 1,216 downloads of our shows. And that's pretty impressive for 197 shows, so not bad.
Is this like receiving an Oscar where I go, you really like us?
Yeah, you really like us. Oh, my God. Yeah, we did 100, and the month's not even over yet. We passed 1,100 at the beginning of the month, and now we're at 1,200. So, boy, doing 100 a month, that's something, man. Yeah.
That's pretty significant. We could become important people.
So if you want to listen to any of our downloads, go over to KMMSAM.com. Look on the What's Hot bar for Tom and Shane rebroadcasts, or podcasts, I should say. It's shorter than rebroadcast because we don't have a lot of room on the hot bar, and so get over there and click on that, and it'll take you to a link that'll take you over there, and you can listen to any of our past shows or any part that you missed or whatever. And
the station can't pay for a few more digits.
Yeah. Let's see. From our text line, 478-8298, I want to thank Governor Steve Bullock for embarrassing the state of Montana by his eloquence when asked about accomplishments that qualify him for president. Wish he would have said, I raised taxes on health care for the working class so lazy people could be covered, voted against the speech on college campuses, free speech on college campuses, I should say, and put more restrictions on everything possible regarding business and free enterprise in the state. I represent Governor. You and your liberal colleagues have done irreparable damage to our economy and country. You do not represent Montana values, from Steve-O. So thanks, Steve-O, for that. All right.
There you are.
Yeah.
It's one of those political things.
Yeah. From our text line, 478-8298, an unbiased solicitation, all roundabouts suck. so there you are. So that'll work. And let's see, multi-lane, we talked about that, went through the roundabout there. Fake news, Ted Turner, LOL. And something else we need to talk about, we'll talk about when we get to the 5 things, if we ever get to the 5 things, Shane. The Capital One hack, a 22-year-old from Seattle, a sanctuary city, go figure.
Well, yeah, and the fascinating thing is it's Paige A. Thomas, a woman that did this, and the FBI have claimed they caught her and arrested her. This happened between March 12th and March 17th. And, it's 100 million Americans and 6 million Canadians. So I did a search, and the only thing closest is Equifax's data breach that occurred, in 2017. They just settled with the, their claim with the U.S. And Federal Trade Commission, $425 million.
Yeah.
So if you got dinged on the Equifax breach, you got to check in, because you could get up to $125 for it.
Wow.
So there may be a check in the mail for you.
All right. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this portion. We come back, Shane, give us a market wrap-up, and then we'll real quickly do the 5 things you need to know, and we'll finish the day out. So Tuesday will just be a distant memory. What a lousy day. There's no reason to be, no reason to have a Tuesday at all. But we're going to finish it up right after the news. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Tuesday, the worst day of the week. Tuesday. I hate Tuesday. July 30th, 2019. 72 degrees outside.
There you go, buddy.
What a day. What a day. It's going to be a nice day, though. It's going to be 85 degrees out there, supposedly, and little or no chance of rain. Our poll question of the day, should you choose to answer it, is will you watch the Democrat debate tomorrow night? And Shane and I will, of course. We will. We sort of have to.
That's right. We watch it like the market wrap up here, because it's important. Because today is an amazing day in the market, and I'll tell you why in a moment.
Tell me why.
The Dow is only down 51. It's 27,168, so it's still up 6.7% for the year. S&P 3,011 down 10. NASDAQ is down 33 at 79.56. It's still up almost 10% for the year. But it's a blood war in Europe. Oh, my gosh. The FTSE's down 29. The DAX in Germany, 278. Yeah. The FTSE in Italy, 450. And, of course, Spain, that's had just a train wreck of an economy for 10 years, down 241. So Asia's looking pretty strong, because the Americans and Chinese are back at the negotiating table. So we're going to get to the most important things of the markets we talk about. So crude oil is 57.18 in your country, 64 in Europe. But gasoline prices, the average price on the U.S. is $1.87. Wow, what a difference. Natural gas, $2.12. Gold at $14.28, up 96. Silver's at $16.51. Remember 3 or 4 years ago when it was $17.75 and we were talking about it? Wow, soybeans are down 7 at $8.80. And wheat's at $4.96, down $6.25. And orange juice is up $1.35, which sort of is an off-season interesting price. Corn $4.11, down $5. Livestock, live cattle $108. Lean hogs $83, down $142. Beef is at $10.43, up a penny. Feeder cattle, 142, interesting number there. Copper, 267, going nowhere. Steel, 4,051, down 19. Of course, aluminum is at 1,800, up $9, nothing mixed up there. And one thing we've been watching is lithium, $102, down 68. Now, here's the interesting thing. Just mentioning it briefly, the U.S. 10-year is at 2.06, so it's up. And the 30-year is at 2.58. It's down and moving away from 3.0 again. But here it is, folks. The euro is broken to 112, and that's why the market's down. The euro is at 111 to the U.S. dollar now, and that's not a good sign for Europe, but it's a great sign for America.
Yeah.
The Russian or the Chinese dollar is dropping. Great sign for them. That means that the prices at the table for Chinese things will still get cheaper. So it's an interesting deal. We got to watch this week because we got to see where this currency in Europe goes. It could be interesting.
Yeah, it could be over there. They've got till October, I think, to get out of Brexit or whatever. And we've got Boris Johnson, the first prime minister born in the United States, is now running things over there. So,
and he's saying, with or without a deal,
they're leaving. So, they're out with or without a deal. They're gone. So.
I really think by the time Brexit happens, we could see the euro a part of the U.S. dollar, which would be just great for England.
It would be, yeah.
But not for the rest of Europe because Trump will make a great deal with UK because of all the Commonwealth countries, right? Mm-hmm. It's a major trading block. It's huge. Yeah. It's bigger than Europe.
And as we've talked about, as he continues to cut out China. And make China kind of a, not a favored trading partner with, where we would be.
That's right.
With these more and more countries, this puts China's economy in the tank, which it already is pretty much. Now, whether I do think Xi is going to hold out for an agreement until Trump either is reelected or not reelected, and.
Which it'll only be worse for them.
That's what I'm thinking. It's I'm thinking next year Trump is going to say, hey, if you're not going to come to the table, then we're putting this 25 deal on, and go for it. So
that's right.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah, I think he has to, right? I mean,
well, he's not. He's got to do it before the election.
That's right.
If they're not going to come to the table, he's got to do it before the election. If he does it, then that's really going to put a nail in their coffin, another nail in their coffin, I would say.
Well, and the reason I mentioned the Commonwealth with the UK, it's 53 countries, and all of these are third world countries that are moving to second world countries. In the next 100 years, they will, and particularly in Africa. So, it becomes a really important aspect for trade in the next 100 years. Well. If you cut China out, you want to trade with, 53 more countries better through the UK and the Commonwealth. I mean, it's a huge play, and that's what's going on, and that's what your president sees. And we haven't talked about it much, but, we'll call it now and be right later, right, Thomas?
There you are. Yes, we will. All right. Got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after this. 17 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, 73 degrees outside. Shane Tobin on the line. Tommy Gulf, your morning mayor, and welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And, I guess on the 5 things we need to know, of course, the Warren and Sanders are going to debate tomorrow night, along with the other folks that are in there. You'll have Francis O'Rourke, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Marianne Williamson, John Hickenlooper, Tim Ryan, John Delaney, and Steve Bullock will be on stage for the first time, and more than likely the last time.
Probably. Because I got to mention this because to me it's funny because last week the DNC negotiated with CNN. No more questions on hand votes.
Yeah.
So they're not going to ask people on the dais up there debating, are you in favor of this? And if you are, raise your... No more hand votes, folks.
No more hand votes for him, huh? Okay, yeah, because that made him look really bad. Yeah, you want free health care for illegals? Absolutely, of course I do. Damn right.
Yeah, can they come across the border legally? Oh yeah, you're gonna, it's not gonna be breaking the law anymore. No,
not a problem. Yeah, that'll be good. So, anyway, CNN's gonna do the debate tomorrow night, 8:00 Eastern time, and it's about a 2.5 hour deal. So, so Shane and I'll be able to watch that. You get it earlier, so you get to sleep more than I do. So, see.
Oh, that's a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it'll be 6:00 here and over by 7:30. So, or whatever, something like
Lucky
that.
Me.
2.5 hours. Yeah. 2.5 hours of Democrats beating each other up. I don't know what could be what could be more fun than that. So. Well, as we talked about earlier, hacker was able to gain access to 100 million credit card applications, stole thousands of Social Security and bank account numbers, Capital One announced on Monday. FBI arrested Paige A. Thompson in the Seattle area on Monday, charging her with computer fraud and abuse. And the court records show the data theft took place between March 12th and July 17th and affected 100 million individuals in the U.S. and 6 million in Canada.
That's big.
That is a big deal, yeah. No credit card numbers were stolen in the breach, and the incident will likely cost the company between $100 million and $150 million, one of the largest data breaches to hit the financial world, as you pointed out, since Experian had their...
And Equifax.
Or Equifax, I'm sorry, not Experian, yeah. Equifax had their little issue come up. So anyway, if you got a Capital One card, which I do, it's paid off though. But
oh, that's good.
Yeah. So, well, I haven't looked lately. It may have, may have a trip to Brazil on it.
Yeah, but this is where you call up Capital One and say, I want to raise my limit because
yeah.
they'll definitely do it for you.
Yeah, if they're gonna. Yeah, I should do that.
You should. No, that's how you build credit. Every 6 to 9 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should call and say, if you're not going to raise my limit, I'm going so, and they will.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a great thing for emergencies, right? That's all you have.
Yeah. Well, in other news, Thomas Barrack, a close advisor to President Trump, used his connection to push the White House to support a nuclear power project backed by Saudi Arabia, according to a report released Monday by Democrats on the House Oversight and Reform Committee. Barrack also lobbied the White House to freely transfer sensitive nuclear technology to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, he's a private equity real estate guy and runs Colony Capital, and a billionaire, by the way. And he was on the presidential inaugural committee. So obviously he's a friend of Trump's, although he may not be because he can't call him Trump anymore. He has to call him Mr. President.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. So, well, I'm not sure. Well, speaking of Saudi Arabia, the guy that planned the 9/11 attack, Khalik Shade, whatever his name is, Khalik somebody.
KMS.
KMS, yeah. He's decided now that he is going to cooperate with if he can avoid the death penalty.
That's right.
And he's ready to give up Saudi Arabia as being involved in the 9/11 thing. Or that's the story anyway.
Yeah, well, Bin Laden came from Saudi Arabia. We all know that.
Well, and everybody who was involved in it, I think, was Saudi Arabian. So
yeah.
So it'd be kind of weird if they weren't aware of it. But
exactly.
Yeah. So.
Well, anyway, did you see though they couldn't override Trump's veto yesterday in the Senate on the Saudi Arabian deal?
Yeah.
You remember they
can't. Well, yeah, they're not going to override it in the Senate for sure.
No. And he vetoed that legislation to prevent him from dealing with the Saudis and selling them military equipment. So that was interesting. Those Demis wouldn't go vote against Trump on an override. How funny is that?
I know. Well, they realize you've got to have a friend besides Israel in that area, even if we don't like them, and even if they're they killed Khashoggi or whatever. You've got to have a base of operation there. You got to have a friendly government. Right. We pretty well lost Hungary. I think.
That's right.
We pulled the plug on a plain deal to them, and then turned around and made one with Saudi Arabia for some other stuff. So we've got to keep one or two friendly nations in that region. So,
yeah, it's the only way you can deal with the situation over there, as a block, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah, we got to have something there. But the Senate fell way short of the 67 votes needed to override the Trump's veto on 3 resolutions that would block arms to Saudi Arabia. 45 to 40 in favor, 45 to 39, and 46 to 41. Drew support from 6 Republicans. 7 Democrats missed the vote, so they're out campaigning. So
that's right.
They're out goofing off.
And foreign policy, as we always say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Amen to that. So, all right, we got to take another quick break. We got the Rush update coming up. Some other things, including Babel. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Rush and Babel all in the same block. I mean, you got to listen to that.
How lucky are we?
You are lucky. We'll be right back. All right, 4 minutes for the top of the hour. We've got a caller patiently waiting on the phone. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
I don't understand all this love for Khashoggi. That guy was a member of the Muslim Brotherhood.
I know, yeah. What a lowlife, anyway, huh?
I just don't get it. And, let's face it, if he was so stupid to walk into that embassy, just to get a marriage license, what a dumb butt. Seriously. I mean, my God, what did he think he was going to happen to him? He knows how those people are. He's one of those people. So I just never did understand. And then they're all like, oh, he's an American journalist. No, he wasn't. He was not an American journalist. It's like that lady congressman that's the Muslim. She's not a congressman either, not from my country. So have a good day.
Oh, okay. Thanks so much. All right. There you go. Just that easy. Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. The other thing that nobody really cares about, Old Town Road becomes the longest running number 1 hit. It's been on 17 weeks at Billboard's Hot 100. It's a song by Lil Nas X, and Cyrus is in there too. I think Billy Ray Cyrus added a little bit to it and whatever. So, but anyway.
Well, the only thing to point out to folks is January 4th, 1936, Billboard magazine published its first music hit parade. Ooh. So they came up with the popular chart calculating the top 100 in July of 1940, and that's what made music famous because of airplay, digital downloads, and streaming activity that keeps it alive, and YouTube, of course. So there you go. That's the important thing.
That's the only thing we need to know about
Old
Town Road.
Yeah, that's right. And you missed Al Sharpton, and it's funny because today we talked about Baltimore because of this day it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't need to go over that. The craziness of the contradiction, that we talked about up on Baltimore earlier. But it's pretty amazing. I don't understand. Explain to me as an American this whole thing about racist. Like, why? Like, do they really think that this is going to continue to work? I mean, it didn't work for Hillary. Do they think it'll work next year? Do they?
Well, I don't know. If you remember it, when Barack Obama was first elected, it took almost 18 months for any criticism of him at all. Because nobody wanted to be called a racist. And I believe firmly that he did well in the polls because the people that were called didn't want the interviewer to think they were racist. So
that's exactly.
So I really think that Donald Trump's the first president in U.S. history that has not polled above 50%.
But I just don't believe that because we know that they're not calling cell phone users.
Well,
right?
whatever. Well, whoever they're calling, it doesn't. What I mean is that they're just not. He's the first president in history that hasn't polled that high. So.
Well, I think he's well beyond that. I don't let you know. We know the polls aren't very good, and unfortunately, they've had it. The golden years of polling is over.
Well, I think it is because people have the most accurate poll I told you several times was the guy who called and asked, "Who are your neighbors voting for?"
That's right.
And Trump's voting for Trump, not me. He's got a Trump sign in his yard.
Yeah,
all right.
It's not my congressman. It's the other guy's congressman.
That's right. Say goodbye, Shane.
Bye, Mayor. Talk to you tomorrow, everyone. Be happy, be safe. God bless.
All right. We'll see everybody back here. Thanks, Shane, for being with me, and thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for supporting the show. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 a.m.